Alrighty, looks like we're live. Welcome everyone to another Grand Vault development stream. Let me kick over our tavern music and switch over the view to the workspace. Alrighty, so picking up well, not right where we left off, but more or less. Here in our item usable class, we have a new function useItem, and we have the isValid check. On the child actor, I just set up a print string here for useItem. And if we look at the isValid check that's being overridden, we create some logic where basically we get the focused party member, and I'll just comment this. Basically check if party member health less than max. And this is basically what we output from the function. And over on the item menu, let me move this off to the side for now. Over on the item menu, we have that function that we call, and we grab what it is, and then we check if it's true, we use item, and if it's false, we get our error sound effect. So in execution, I'll populate some items. Right now, Vance's health is kind of max, so it won't work. I guess I can verify that. Yeah, so for either of them, it's not valid. I'm getting that error sound effect. I do have I set up a really quick keyboard shortcut to, remove some of Vance's life. So here, now we're able to use it. If we select Maya, we can't. So pretty much working as intended. For this step, the next step would be to actually provide some function. I'm going to close our data table, open this up here. And we have our useItem function. So we know what we want to have happen. The goal is to, in this case, for the eCanteen, for the eCanteen item, we want to field the player. So on our child class, where we have the valid check, we do have a way of getting which party member this is. So I believe we can use that same logic. We could even pass this through. I'm just thinking, is that what we want to do? I mean, for this actor, it is. And we don't want to create a variable on the usable because some items are offensive, some are, like files for reading or our books. So possibly if we can promote this to a variable, that should be adequate. We can call it target. We call it selected. Oh my god, selected party member. And we can just shoot these through like so. Plug this one into here. So we get if it's valid for that actor. And then over on the use, override useItem. Well, here we are. So we can grab our selected party member, and I have to think about this. Well, maybe it's simpler than I think. It could simply be that I'll use the same sort of logic to get the desired character's HP, and then we can increase it. You know, increase it by, well, let me just check the amount of the value that we need to increase our HP by, and it should be in the data table language. eCanteen 200, so but we need to reset this into the back into the game instance. So from here we would set stats primary. In the case of Vance, we'd want to do Vance, but in the case of Maya, we would want to increase her HP. And a select won't work. I don't think it will. We might have to use a switch. Switch on party members and hook that up like this. And if it's Vance, we would update his. And we can make the stats like this. Health points would be increased from what it was to 200. And actually, real quick, let's clamp that. Whoops. We'll clamp. The minimum will be 0, obviously, but the maximum will be our clamp as well, just so we don't start going beyond our limit. We'll sort of keep things safe. Okay, so I wonder if item use will master. Perhaps we should make a game instance variable on here on construct, or on begin play. So type pgb giref. No, we don't got that. So from here we'll cast to game instance. Sorry, our custom game instance class. Perfect. Get game instance. I want to promote this to a variable, like so. Name it something obvious. PG, game instance underscore ref. Ref is for reference. And if we compile and go to our child classes, we should now be able to just use that variable instead. Ref. Perfect. Those should be. They should do exactly what we need. So you could try to do a select here, but it's not. think we have to use a switch. Unless I'm missing something in terms of my logic for the problem solving here, but what will have to happen is, a primary set dot, and basically this has to input to either or. So you can't actually have a select, because it would work like this. But because then we select the input correctly, and then we dump it into the same one. That logic should be fine. So now after this gets used, let's get our item menu reference. We're going to have to create a new function or an event to wrap up this item, because it's been consumed. Let's just save. Hope my audio levels are all right. Let me know if the music is too loud. Until I'm told otherwise, I will keep everything the same. Okay, so head back into our item menu. We use the item, and afterwards, rather than calling it here, I'd rather have the actor itself call a function. And that function should do a few things. Let's just make it as an event first, and we can collapse it to a function if we wanted to. Sorry, not new event, add custom events. And we'll call this consume item. So I think the first thing, well, several things need to happen. The first is we got to change our widget phase sort of back to our item select. Let's grab the comment box too, because I want to keep everything commented. Okay. So we're going to set the widget phase back to the previous command control hierarchy. I'm not really sure a better way to put that. But right now, when we're selecting a character to use, we're using this command input for these options, and then the first layer is up here for controlling the actual item you want. Now, next up would be we want to consume. We're going to have to destroy the actor, and we do have a reference to it here, focused inventory item. So we can destroy, not destroy this, destroy actor. I seem to have a message. Oh, it is not anything critical. Destroys actor as to not better the world. Okay, but that's going to be last, so we're going to put this space here. We're going to have to also refresh. If we go to construct, we have this refresh all. I think we're going to call that so we can refresh our inventory, and also refresh the character's states. That way everything gets updated. Refresh all. And maybe that doesn't need a comment. It should be pretty self-explanatory. Am I missing anything? If I think about it, we need to actually remove this actor, remove this inventory from the actual character itself. Because we can remove the reference that we create for building the functionality and calling functions and checks, but in terms of our character's inventory, it's still existing there, so we need to find a way to remove it. It shouldn't be terribly difficult. We do have, update inventory, add inventory, all these functions that were existing and that we did update. However, I don't think I updated remove from inventory. Why is this in resource handlers? This should be in inventory. Okay, if I open this up, we have discard, interaction on discard. This should be old. So we have item to remove, and that is that item data structure. We do this for the quantity, 1 to nothing. We find it and we remove that index, and then we update inventory, which is where we count for stacking. Maybe that's already ready to go. But I think it needs to be called here. I need to verify how the item menu is whoops, not item master, the item menu. It's not pulling the inventory from the game instance, right? It's from the character. Party members, refresh all, clear children, update inventory, process inventory. I see. Well, the item menu has active character reference, which is kind of perfect, actually. I think this will work. Okay, so item menu will get our active character reference. And from this guy, we should be able to call his remove items from inventory function. And I want to say this is this will work. Yeah, I'll plug this in just so we know that it's firing all the way through, not getting weird, or like not, if it's getting stuck here, this will let us know. And the item type is gonna be item data. Whoops. There we go. Hey Rashad, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Okay, now let's see what happens with our inventory. Let's populate it. Let's hurt our protagonist here. Definitely seems like it worked, but the inputs are a little too quick. Because, let's try that again. So now I have 379 HP. If I go to items, and as soon as I click it, it's been used. And now we can't use it because we probably have full HP. So that logic is working. It definitely is working. But what's weird, item menu 2. If we go down to our function here, yeah, refresh all. This should work. Consume item. Oh yeah, well that's why. We didn't call this. Well, I didn't call this. That one's on me. So let's go to our character, or not a character, our child actor class, and call consume. We want to consume that item. Now we should get something. Hey, Ruslan. No, it's not Paragon assets, although those assets do look very tasty, and I do want to check those out, but I actually haven't downloaded them. But it's pretty cool that, you know, those assets aren't going to waste, I suppose. I'm gonna save all before I preview again, just in case of crashes. Okay, lower our HP a little bit. Cool. And that effectively did what I wanted it to. However, it refreshed our party members. It did not at all remove it from our inventory. I have to check out what's going on there. But yeah, if I sort my items, it still exists. I have one of them. If I go back in here, yeah, it should be fine. To figure out that. It's good that we're getting the functionality out of the item that we set. Oh, thanks, Ruslan. Yeah, it's a passion project. Slowly but surely, we will build it. So quantity to remove. If we add to inventory, we are adding to that same array. And then we update. Yeah, there are a lot of functions that were from our old version of the game, and I built them so long ago. Not so long ago, but you know, you build something and then you move on, and then you have to kind of reteach yourself what you were doing. Especially because I'm learning as I'm building the game. There are several moments where I come back to something I've programmed, and I was like, why did I do it like this? But this should work. We're removing that index. We re-update our inventory, and then we recount all our inventory. Back on our item. Yeah, and then we refresh the widget, which does work with regards to the displaying our health. Process inventory. Yeah, and we're taking the newly counted This has already been refreshed. There's a mystery here that needs to be solved. It doesn't make for a great development stream. Here's what we're gonna do. Gonna grab my print string, figure out what's going on. Because we're removing the item based on finding it inside of our character's stash. Not stash, but the array of items on our character. Just want to see what this is really set as. Whoops. Yeah, it is the right actor. And our our consume item event is working pretty much perfectly from what I can tell, but we're not getting. We have to check what's going on in this function. Oh, I see a new comment. Yeah, so I just finished reading it. Your comment, Ruslan. Yeah, I only use blueprints. I don't really have a background in programming. But blueprints sort of enable me to build the game without learning the language part of it, you know? Oh, thanks, WR Productions. I appreciate it. Always appreciate a cool boost like that. That's awesome. Here's what I want to do. Because we're re-updating the item system that used to work before I began changing everything. Let's just find out if the item we're trying to remove is here. So let's make a print string. Print string is probably my favorite tool to find out why something's not working. So we'll grab that actor name, whatever we pass through, and we're gonna check array. I'm gonna punch that through here. and then we'll know. So we'll compile this, save our messy function, go back to the item menu, or probably not, go back to this and just pass this all through. Oh, this game, Grand Vault, is sort of like a turn-based JRPG style game. Right now I'm in the middle of upgrading. Well, I guess as per the stream's title, upgrading the item system. Actually, it's more like troubleshooting the item system. Whoops! Haven't built up that menu yet, so it just dies when we go there. Interesting. It was not found. Okay. It's time to do more detective work. Just gonna dump this stuff in here, my temporary workspace. Okay. Now, let's see what's going on with adding items to the menu. Yeah, we call add to inventory. Pretty simple. We grab an actor, we pass it through. That actor is checked for the item type, and that struct just gets dumped into our inventory. Alright. We add the item, we destroy the actor, that's it. Oh, thanks for the sub, WR. The animations are... The menu animations are just keyed in Unreal. Sort of using the timeline and these different, switch in, enter, like this sort of stuff. So it's pretty basic. Sounds are they're like freeware sounds from libraries. Some sounds I bought, I couldn't tell off the top of my head. I have it all in like folders organized. But I do like the sounds too. I just tried to find the most gamey kind of sounds possible. So we got add to inventory, and we got remove from inventory. And this is odd because... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to troubleshoot this. We are just going to stop operating in like a complex system and figure out why it's not working. So we're going to... Such a messy workspace up here. Most of the blueprints are organized. Just this like debug area is a mess. Okay, I'll use the U and I keys. Those are fine. Whoops. Okay. And we're gonna to it like we already have been. So we're gonna add just that one item to our inventory, and then see if we can remove it just through shortcuts, and then we can try and identify where the problem is. Remove from inventory. And like which item to remove? Well, we'll grab our inventory, get a reference. I feel like this feature was new, and maybe we'll see. We'll see. Whoops, not 10. We just need to remove one instance of it. No. Not a problem. Happy to share the info, spread the knowledge, all that kind of stuff. And about your blueprints, my blueprints being nearer than yours. I don't know. I've been there. I still have some functions that are, or some blueprints rather, that are like really messy still, because I just haven't revisited them. And then when my partner tries to work with them, he's like, "Whoa, what's going on in here?" And then I feel bad. Alrighty. Okay, so we added one item, hop in there. Perfect. We added one and got one. This isn't ideal either. We're gonna have to fix this, but and if we add another one, we have two. Okay, so that's counting right. If we hit the I key, interesting. Well, of course. Now I feel like a bogus goof because this is still just checking if you can find it. So let's actually plug that in so it can work. Perfect. Hit the I key, and it should be gone. Perfect. So our, if I add 5 and I remove 2, we should have only 3 left, right? Okay, so my function is fine. Just somewhere along the line, it gets a little messy. In all honesty, I was hoping to get into like using items in the battle menu, but I did not foresee this roadblock. Okay. We have our recovery test. It works. I wanted to remove. It's this, I think, which is odd because I mean, it should be a replica of what's like in your array, because like, you know, we spawn it, we add it to our inventory, so that struct is fully passed into the character's inventory. And in the item menu, we have that inventory button, and then we have the inventory. Well, let's go to the top level. What's going on here? Let's work through this. We have our inventory button focused with that data. We grab that class, we verify its type so we know the intention of the use command. And once it is a restorative, we pass through here, we confirm, we go to party select, we state focus, and we spawn actor to world. We create a reference to that item. When we want to use it, we check if it's valid. Maybe it's simpler than I'm making it out to be. Let's not do this here. Remove from inventory, we're going to pull away from. We're just going to leave the function here. Let's compile. I think I'm making it more complex than it has to be. Back on the item menu from here. Let's just move this out of the way. Hey, go back there. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna consume item. We're gonna call that like before. And to remove it, we're gonna do that here. Remove item from inventory. That should by default. That should be 1 always. I don't know why I set that to be 0. We're gonna use this inventory button reference because this reference, in fact, not even from this actor. We're gonna use it from the focus inventory button. And I know it seems different, it's a different variable, but this one is created from that, and I think maybe that's what's causing the issue. So I'll get the item data from that widget, plug it in here, because this is how the shop systems worked with buying and selling. This sort of same function that was driving all of that. So it should, I want to say, it should be fine. I want to believe, but we'll see. There's our items. Populate normally. Sort function works. We have 1 of each. And if I do a little bit of damage, success! Yes! Okay, awesome. It worked, right? Yeah, we have 1 less items. If we hit sort, it's gone. It is removed from our inventory. Amazing. Right. Okay. So we kind of got the skeleton of what's working. It's on this recover test actor. We kind of have to do some boring work here with regards to all our other items. In terms, like the recovery items are going to have to be a child class of the items usable, I think. So we're gonna have to like delete some actors, clean some up. That's probably boring work I don't want to do on stream. With regards to using items in combat, let's see. Hope it's not too loud. Yeah, we got nothing here. Also, that's way too loud. Let's just jump into here and unplug our music. Yeah, begin music. Let's not begin music. So what I was trying to explain was this is where the other half of the item menu comes into play with this battle mode. So basically what I want to have happen is we're going to populate another list. Kind of like how we have skills populating here, but we're going to have items populate using that same container. And then you can drive. That's like the only other use case for using items. So you can use items basically in, I can't look, the battle's still going on, isn't that funny? You can use items in exploration mode or in combat mode. So the logic is now, I want to say, figured out for exploration mode for the most part. Maybe not. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Getting too excited. Because up here we still have these other use cases. We have, for example, whoops, you don't want to get rid of that. We have items that are restoratives, and right now we're doing self-target, like the e-canteen, but we need to do select all. For instance, items that would heal all party members of statuses or items, like for HP. I think there's a first aid kit, which is supposed to restore all HP and status to all allies. So that's a good asset to use to proxy that out. Shoot. And then afterwards I want to set up hunting tools and file types as well, which will need its own widget, like a reader or something. It's not complex, actually. It's pretty basic compared to everything else in the game. But okay, here's what I'll do. I'll just get started. I was thinking of ending the stream a little early, but I might as well do the full hour and get started on the chore that will be moving assets into other assets. Or sorry, moving items into a new item class, I should say. Yeah, you know, e-canteen. We need to get rid of you and move you. Because now essentially, oh no, I have to clean this up. I don't want to like delete things like this. It's bad. But our recovery test is, there it is. This is our new e-canteen essentially. Maybe I can start a new naming convention, because it's a new asset. Decisions. Yeah, I think. Okay, this is usually what I do. Junk shop child has reference to it, but why? Combat referee. Can I replace references with our recover test? Well, is it that simple? Will you let me do that? Okay. Maybe it is that easy. It's actually my first time using that tool. I gotta check these out and check them in. Trying to think why there's a reference on the combat referee to our inventory actor. It's very bizarre. Oh no. Yeah, that's awkward because we already deleted it. But I think that is just the nature of things. We're going to call it actor underscore eCanteen. I think that's just how we're gonna have to go about it. Unfortunately, it's a bunch of junk files or in the memory of the SVN, the server maybe for file sharing. So it won't allow me to use that name because there is a reference to an actor with that name. Okay, yeah. Cool. I'm going to make another child class, item usable master, and we're going to call this actor underscore first aid kit. And we're going to open that up and apply our default is valid. The target type is not self, it is party members. And actor class underscore first aid kit. Let's get a reference to itself. Character exclusive, it is not. Item icon, let's set that up to. Whoops. First aid kit. And the type, it is of the restoratives type. And I got that cool green color. So now that should provide me with a ready to go actor to debug and test with and troubleshoot and make it work. We're going to replace our old first aid kit with the new one. Where is first aid? First aid, where are we creating that? I think it's the end. First aid kit. Yeah, replace it with the new one so that we get it into our inventory. And I'm going to have to also update our little shortcut here for hurting the main character. We're going to have to do it for Maya as well. Whoops. Actually, I'll keep that input, because sometimes it's a pain in the butt to grab those keyboard commands. Actually, get my stats primary. Set my stats primary. So this is like a really awkward way to go about it, but for the purpose of removing health on a one-off, just so we can build our functionality and make sure items are only available when they're valid, I think it's adequate. Okay. So now we should hurt both characters. Oh. How weird. Oh, I know why. Of course. Because the e-canteen was an option of the store stock for those items to be sold. So then after we deleted it, those actors are now dirty and need to be fixed. They are not clean blueprints. So here's my usual trick. I'm gonna make a capture of this just so I have it for the things I need to go find and fix. It's weird that the lift bottom needs that though. Like, why would it need that item? It's an elevator. Here, this will be easier. We go lift. A underscore lift bottom. Whoa, condition points growth. These are old, super old blueprints. To surface. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean these up. Condition deactivation / CPU growth. Don't have to come back to those later. Let's just make it very obvious. Okay. That's better. Next up is our widgets for shopping. So, where are we? We have shops. Got nothing in the shops. Oh, we do, but nothing with lift. So looking for basic shop buy. Ooh, not what you want at all. This is probably the third part of the item system. Exploration, combat, and purchase, buying and selling. I mean, I'm starting to think that was a bad idea, but it needed to be cleaned up anyways. We had to get rid of it. So where are the errors here? What's the issue? Compile error failed. Spawn actor. Oh yeah, these are non-existing in our struct now. Hey, high type. Yes. I'm glad you appreciate it. It's annoying to have it, like having to go back to the preview and, oh, is it good now? Can I compile? Can I play? So this way I get a little to-do list off to the side. Yeah, these are all. Yeah, this is something I did not want to have to deal with at the moment. We're gonna have to come back and fix this. Just because this is a shopping system and it's kind of fundamental to get the item system's fundamentals first before we get into buying and selling. Just want to clean this up so I can continue developing. It's so complex. I can't. None of this stuff is fresh right now. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna leave this non-functional for the time being. Okay, next up is our shop inventory button. It's a little interesting because we've updated this struct a long time ago for the new item system, and only now the shops are having errors with it. Now, I'm not sure as to why that is the case. Okay, next up, widget sell menu. Where are we? This looks fine. Oh, not the button, the menu. Sell menu. There we go. Yep, of course. Of course you have an issue with that. It doesn't exist. And check that out. And the last one is the junk shop itself. And I believe that's because, oh, it's the same issue. Whatever. Check that out. And now we should be good to play, right? Okay, cool. And now we can hurt both of our characters equally. Sort that. Interesting. Wait, is it interesting? First aid kit, actor in for pickup. Yeah, that should work. It is plugged in. Row not found. Oh, I'm a goof. Yeah, of course. Of course you're not going to find it if you don't have your name. let us double check. Double check. Did I not type it correctly? How bizarre. Data table. So it's not a language table, it's this one. That's a little weird. Why couldn't you find it? The old one is essentially the same. We can check our actor name, and then is there like a hidden space? Doesn't appear to be the case at all. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. It's always just something small. But in any case, guys, thanks for watching. Kind of a little bit overtime here, but oh, my apologies. That was probably really loud. Yeah, like I was saying, thanks for watching and tuning in. I'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit further, a little bit beyond this, so we can get right into the battle mode type stuff. It should be a bit more exciting. Of course, it's fighting, right? It's combat. As always, likes and subscribes are appreciated, and I'll see you later.